What is up, you guys? We are back with yet another awesome film. And today's movie starts in a world where alien prisoners are kept captive in human bodies, and some of these prisoners occasionally awaken and take control of their hosts. However, they can only leave the human vessels for a limited time as the Earth's atmosphere is toxic to them, and an awakened alien can also travel through space and time. Our first scene begins with a battle between monks and an awakened alien prisoner. Despite their efforts, the monks were unable to defeat the alien, and suddenly, a bright light appears in the sky and a car drops out of it. Two humanoid aliens, Guard and Thunder, emerge from the vehicle to confront the prisoner. The alien gets back into its vessel and attacks the two guards. However, Guard and Thunder overpower it and successfully remove the alien from its human host. The vessel asks Guard to take care of her child, but Guard refuses, stating that they do not interfere with human lives. Sadly, the alien dies, and Guard and Thunder return to their own time in 2012. Upon returning to their base, the two partners place the contained prisoner inside a secure safe. However, Guard hears a noise and discovers that Thunder has snuck in the babies she explicitly told him not to bring. Guard is furious, but Thunder suggests experimenting on the baby's brain to understand humans better, and Guard reluctantly agrees. In the next scene, we are taken back in time to 1391. Murek, a young sorcerer, is performing magic tricks for local villagers when two men come running, announcing that three thieves with bounties on their heads have stolen from the village. Murek confronts these thieves, but two other magicians show up who are also after the bounty. Despite Murek's claim that he was there first, the other magicians push him aside. However, Murek summons two companions out of his magic fan, and with their help, he defeats the two other magicians and he turns in the thieves for the bounty. While collecting the bounty, Murek notices a woman's face on a wanted poster and she looks really familiar to him, and this makes him feel uneasy. He suspects that Turd, who's a prisoner for public intoxication, knows something about this case. Murek then pretends to be Doc Turd's son and enters the prison to speak to him. Doc Turd reveals that he found a magical dagger while fishing and sold it to a certain magistrate. The magistrate lives in Byongjong, and Doc Turd warns Murek that the ex-magistrate is a powerful magician. But nevertheless, Murek plans to steal the dagger without any problems. Murek and his two companions arrive in Byongjong searching for the ex-magistrate. They ask around for information, but the locals demand a price in exchange. Murek believed that the information was invaluable considering the number of people that they could ask, but the locals called him a thief and warned him to leave. Suddenly, a man attacked Murek, but he used his magic to defend himself. One of the men whom Murek had spoken to earlier stood up and paralyzed him with his own magic, revealing himself to be the ex-magistrate. He advises Murek to lead an honest life before heading upstairs to speak with a strange man. As the ex-magistrate showed the man the dagger, the stranger claimed it was his own and attacked the ex-magistrate, leaving him for dead. Doc Turd picked up the dagger while Murek's companions chased after him. Murek rushed upstairs to find the ex-magistrate, who tried to warn him of something before passing away. Murek chased after the strange man and Doc Turd, who were about to kill each other, and he intervened, but the stranger managed to overpower him, knocking him unconscious. When he woke up, he found himself next to a spaceship stuck in a pond and saw a woman who quickly fled. In 2022, Guard and Thunder were raising a baby girl named Yan. Guard posed as her father and was called in by the school and police when Yan reported that her parents were robots who altered her memory and her father's car could talk. And Guard leaves quietly after listening to their concerns, leaving the situation unresolved. After night falls, Guard takes Yan home after their eventful day. However, before leaving the car, Yan leaves her phone recorder inside. As she listens to the recording, she overhears her father speaking to Thunder about a package of 107 prisoners arriving the next day. Excited about her intuition being right all along, Yan decides to witness the event for herself. Determined to retrieve her phone recorder, Yan sneaks back into the car at night, and inside, she discovers a multi-dimensional structure in a compartment, but Thunder appears and warns her not to touch it. Thunder reveals his true form and transforms into Yan's father, bringing her joy but also forcing her to leave quickly as her real father approaches. Before departing, Yan asks Thunder about her origins and learns that she comes from the past. The following day, Yan heads to the hospital where the spaceship is set to drop off the prisoners and their equipment. As the spaceship arrives, tentacles emerge from the equipment, ensnaring everyone inside the hospital. Yan narrowly narrowly escapes, but Guard arrives on the scene to retrieve the equipment. Meanwhile, in the past, a sorcerer couple investigate the site of the magistrate's murder and conclude that something is amiss. They decide to consult with a monk guru at the Milboon Temple for answers. Murek visits the stranger's man's house but finds nothing of interest aside from a peculiar drawing on the wall. After discovering a notice requesting the search for the knife, he decides to head to the Milboon Temple. At the temple, the sorcerers meet with the masked man and showcase their magical merchandise, but he shows no interest until they mention the magic dagger. They inform him that the dagger was in possession of the magistrate before it was stolen by Dogturd. Meanwhile, Murek attends a wedding at a temple in disguise, replacing the groom. As he drinks with the bride, he realizes her face is familiar. However, before he can investigate further, he is poisoned and the false bride reveals her true intentions of obtaining the knife for herself. The sorcerers hypnotize a servant to retrieve the dagger, but the false bride manages to take it. In a fight to recover the weapon, the masked monk appears and knocks out the false bride, taking both her and the knife. Back in 2022, we see Yan at her friend's place, unaware of the impeding danger. Suddenly, Guard and Thunder arrive to take her away. Thunder takes on the persona of Guard, as Guard isn't really best at talking to people, and they take Yan back home, and to her surprise, both of them are present. But even though she doesn't know what it is, something feels different this time, and Yan can sense that they're hiding something from her. Eventually, they confess about their current situation, unable to keep any secrets from her any longer. Thunder reveals that they saved her life and that she would have died if they had not intervened. In another scene, we witness an ensnared officer at a hospital assigned to ambush a suspect. The officer is conducting a drug bust but appears really disoriented. The suspect manages to slip away and pours the drugs he's holding, and the officer fires a warning shot but to no avail as the man continues to pour the drugs. Later, the man is released from the police station due to lack of evidence. However, the officer's hearing is now heightened, causing him to become increasingly confused and become unlike himself. He can overhear the criminal talking to his lawyer and learns of more drugs at the criminal's home, and in a fit of rage, he follows him and he kills both of them. The next scene reveals a spaceship approaching Earth, but Thunder starts to malfunction. Guard manages to stop Thunder, and Thunder informs him that an enemy ship is approaching Earth and that the prisoner inside Moon Desok has managed to escape. Yan insists on joining them, and Thunder transforms into a jet, taking them to capture Moon. Moon wakes up in a bathtub covered in blood, disoriented and unaware of what's transpired. The spaceship lands where Moon was living, and an alien emerges telling him that their controller is trapped inside him and that they will free him using Guard's energy. Guard appears and starts fighting the alien, and despite putting up a fierce fight, the alien manages to defeat Guard and steals the dagger that serves as Guard's energy source. However, during the fight, Moon manages to escape. The alien boards its ship to follow Moon, while Guard also gets back up and enters his own ship, and an aerial battle between Guard and the alien ensues, but unfortunately, the alien shoots them down. Moon crashes his car and the alien catches up to him, and the alien stabs Moon with the dagger, freeing the prisoner inside of him. The prisoner quickly boards his spaceship, and Thunder, having received a temporary emergency recharge, follows him inside. As the camera pans inside the plane, we see Thunder witnessing the controller releasing a large amount of Heba. These Hebas, as we learn later, are designed to make the Earth's atmosphere habitable for prisoners, but they're very toxic for humans. Suddenly, a guard storms into the ship and ambushes the controller. In a swift move, the guard takes the daggers from him and throws him and the two Hebas out of the plane. Thunder rushes the guard's side to help him open a time portal while the controller attacks Yan. However, Thunder intervenes and saves her just in time. Despite their efforts, the controller manages to find his way back into the host, activates the Hebas, and unleashes them onto the people, killing many in the process. Thunder narrowly saves Yan and takes her home. We then cut to 1391, where we see the masked monk impersonating the fake bride. He interrogates her about the whereabouts of the dagger and the ship that they had traveled in, but the fake bride refuses to divulge any information. In another scene, the masked monk and a stranger strange man reveal to us that they are aliens searching for the controller. They reveal that they killed the magistrate thinking that he was the controller's vessel, but as it turns out, there's only one candidate left. Meanwhile, we see Murek and his companions ambushing monks and stealing their clothes to disguise themselves as monks to steal the dagger. Upon returning to the monastery, they find medicine and a scroll inside their clothes which they submit. Murek is then ordered to chew the medicine and give it to a female magician who has been shot by the fake bride. While inside, he spots the dagger and decides to return later that night to steal it. On his way back to the magician's room, Murek is ordered to deliver food to the fake bride. When he does, he tells her that he has her gun and agrees to return it if she tells him where she came from. She reveals that she's from the future, but Murek doesn't believe her. When the guards arrive, he throws the gun at her and leaves. Suddenly, the fake bride falls to the ground due to what Murek gave her, and the same food was also served to the sorcerers. When Murek goes to steal the dagger later that night, he finds the two sorcerers petrified by the poison. They inform him that they have the antidote. However, when the monks with coffins arrive to spot him, Murek fights them off and takes the antidote and leaves, and he leaves some antidote on the table for the two sorcerers before escaping. As our hero ventures forth to deliver the antidote to the fake bride, he finds himself wounded by prisoner aliens. Although his companions try to rescue him, he feels compelled to return and save the girl. He gives her the antidote, but tragically, one of the aliens kills him. In the midst of the chaos, two aliens awaken from their slumber and take the controller away by ambulance. They transport him to Thunder's house, where Guard and Thunder bring Yan home. Guard reveals to Yan that he's killed her mother, and shockingly, he confesses to having created her to avoid suspicion. Overwhelmed, Yan agrees to go to a safe place. In the meantime, Guard awaits the aliens in their hideout, and Yan regrets leaving her father. She pleads with Thunder to take her back, but he warns her that victory is unlikely. But despite this fact, Yan listens to her heart and insists on returning. Suddenly, the odds of success increase, and Thunder joins the fight against the aliens. In a fierce battle, Guard and Thunder attempt to escape from the aliens, but they follow them to the car. The guards manage to open a time portal and transport the aliens with them, and elsewhere, two sorcerers investigate the monastery and discover that the masked monk has destroyed crucial documents about the guards' arrival. When Guard and Thunder teleport through the portal in 1381, the two sorcerers and Murek witness the event. Unfortunately, the car crashes by a cliff and the controller appears. Despite his valiant efforts, Guard is unable to defeat him, and Thunder cannot open the time portal to bring Yan and the dagger back to the present. However, Yan shoots the controller and the car plunges into the lake, where she loses the dagger. On shore, she encounters Murek, who helps her find her bag, and to their amazement, they see a man version of Murek freeing himself from a coffin and washing ashore. Later, Yan wakes up in a grave being buried alive. She manages to kill her attackers and frees herself, and she ambushes the two aliens and shoots the masked one. The two sorcerers had managed to take the antidote, and they have joined the fight against the aliens. Despite the sorcerers' attempts to hypnotize the aliens, they fail, and Yan shoots the strange alien, and the sorcerers engage the masked one in battle. They use their tools to get the upper hand, and the alien in the strange body contains his body and the dagger in an energy field and fights Yan. However, Murek intervenes and saves Yan. Together, they overpower the alien and extract his body from the energy field. The second alien frees himself from the sorcerers, and Yan lures him into the water. She manages to escape, but the alien dies because he had been outside his body for too long. Before he passes away, he tells Murek that he was one of them, and Murek realizes that the controller has possessed his body, and there, the story comes to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. I love you guys so much, and I promise to see you on my next recap. Bye!